testing facility to sample the 2017 RS200. For its bold colors and edgy graphics, while other people hated it for the same. The styling is still the same, it's still quite busy if you ask me. The RS200 is a lot better to look at irrespective of who's looking at it. And I for the graphite black edition, that was the different colored alloys. The front is blue and the rear one is black. Looks pretty cool. Gets this carbon fiber finish, which is a really neat touch. It looks really nice. The light switch has been taken out because the headlights now, as you know, always stay on. The engine is now BS4 compliant and I still love the way it sounds. I think it's the most refined and the most enjoyable engine in the Pulsar lineup, and I had a blast of a time riding Trinity. kgs wet, and that definitely eats into it. That's why we are hoping that the next iteration of the RS200 is lighter, so that it can showcase its true potential in the corners and also on the straight line. The brake forward on the RS200 at least as an option. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The single channel ABS one for 1,33,000 for 1,21,000. But
it's almost an year since I have been riding this bike for. So I thought of making a video to share my experience with this bike. The bike, which I call it as the hero of 200cc. The KTM 200 has taken the Indian market under the shrunk and creating a higher demand. This bike is just enough to drag the eyeballs. The bike has got LED brake lights at the back, which makes it look more attractive. It has got a small visor and LED indicators, which are just mind-blowing. The bike has got a fully digital instrument console, which has a speedometer, a tachometer, fuel gauge and a gear shift indicator. It also shows the service due date and warnings, number of gears and many more. The 300mm front is equipped with 4-pot brake calipers by Bajaj and the telescopic upside down forks by WP helps you to hit the corners easily. The 230mm rear disc, the lighter weight swing arm and its chassis.
Next to the 2017 Yamaha FZ09, and I'm getting ready to go out and take it for a ride. I can't wait to sample all the
I would describe the suspension in the previous generations as boinging. You get into a bumpy section of road and the chassis would get all out of sorts. It never did anything evil, but it wasn't planted. With this, with the 2017 FZ09, you can definitely feel what's going on at the road, and the chassis doesn't get all disconcerted over the bumps. And that's another big...
Mine has ABS, and ABS technology is, I guess you could say, I never felt like the FZ09 lived up to its potential. I was unwilling to spend the additional money or increase the MSRP enough to give the suspension components that it has. I guess that they could raise the price to $89.99 and give the better suspension components that they did. Stylistically, in looks a lot more like its bigger sibling, the looking back end to the bike. It gives it kind of a...
It may carry the CBR name, but the bike styling is actually derived from the VFR 1200F Superbike. The design can be termed polarizing at best, Some like it, some don't. But there is no denying the fact that it is quite an eye-catcher. Like all Honda bikes, the CBR 150R is built quite well, with good fit and finish levels. One sore point though is the low quality of the switchgear plastic, which looks out of place on a bike that costs more than a lakh. The Honda CBR 150R has the most comfortable ergonomics of all performance bikes we've ridden so far. While the bike seats its rider in a forward bent posture, the saddle is quite spacious, so even our 6'2" test rider was able to sit without a problem. Pillion comfort is quite good too. The CBR 150R's liquid-cooled and fuel-injected 150cc engine produces 17.58 bhp at a high 10,500 rpm. Power delivery is linear, but if you want to ride fast, you will have to rev it quite a bit. Low-end torque is adequate for intra-city commuting. The CBR is a fun bike to ride. It is quite nimble, so direction changes can be dealt with very quickly. Cornering stability is quite good, although if the surface is bumpy, it tends to wallow a bit because of the soft suspension. Ride quality is one of this Honda's strongest points. The telescopic forks at the front and the rear monoshock absorb road imperfections very well, translating into a smooth ride. The CBR is fitted with a set of powerful disc brakes on both wheels. Coupled with the grippy TVS tires, they help the bike decelerate without much trouble. In our braking test, the CBR 150R came to a complete halt from 60 km/h in just 9.72 meters. The bike's instrument console features an analog tachometer coupled with a digital display that includes the speedometer, fuel gauge, engine temperature gauge, and a handy clock. Surprisingly, the CBR doesn't come equipped with a pass light switch and an engine kill switch, features that are now common on most bikes. At Rs 1.2 lakhs ex-showroom, the CBR 150R isn't exactly what you'd call cheap, but you do get a bike that is well built and fun to ride.